Welcome back to Conversations with Manny. Today, I want to dive into a food for thought that might seem small, but has the power to shape our lives in significant ways. Have you ever experienced that annoying feeling of having a grain of sand stuck in your shoes? It's such a tiny thing, right? But let me tell you, it can cause immense discomfort with every single step you take. Now, you might find yourself constantly adjusting your shoes, trying to shake it out, but it just won't budge. It's frustrating, isn't it? Well, this little scenario it serves as a powerful metaphor for how even the smallest annoyance can disrupt our peace of mind and our life. So let's unpack that a bit together. Now, let's take a moment to really think about that grain of sand. It's a small piece of nature, right? Yet it has the power to ruin a perfectly good day. Just like that grain of sand, a single negative comment from someone can sneak into our minds and start to change how we see ourselves and others. Now I want you to imagine this. Imagine you're in a beautiful library. You're surrounded by books filled with knowledge, stories, and inspiration. Suddenly, you feel that one little grain of sand in your shoe. Instead of immersing yourself in the world of literature, that tiny irritation takes center stage. Now, isn't that a bit wild? We often allow small, negative experiences to overshadow all the positive moments we have. Let's think of a time when someone made a comment that stuck with you. Maybe it was something trivial, but it lingered in your mind, affecting how you felt about yourself. This is the perfect example of how a grain of sand can overshadow the treasures within the library of our experiences. So, how do we combat that? Well, one way is to recognize the power of perspective. Just like the library, right? There's so much more to our experiences than that tiny grain of discomfort. When we're aware of how small annoyances can really impact our thoughts and feelings, we can take actions or conscious actions to shift our focus. Let me share something that I learned and I use. Think about creating a gratitude bookshelf, a simple yet effective tool. Every time something positive happens, write it down on a colorful piece of paper and add it to your bookshelf. On days when you feel overwhelmed by those grains of sand, pull out a note and remind yourself of the beautiful moments that you've collected. It's a great way to keep the focus on the bigger picture. Now, let's connect this idea to something we might all have heard of, the butterfly effect. This concept is so fascinating. It suggests that small actions can lead to significant consequences over time. There's a psychological thriller, a movie called The Butterfly Effect, where the main character, Evan, he discovers he can travel back in time to make changes in his past. Sounds cool, right? But here's the catch. Every little change he makes, no matter how minor, drastically alters his present and future. Think about it. It's like a ripple effect. One small decision, one overlooked moment can create waves that impact our lives in unexpected ways. This mirrors our grain of sand analogy. Just as it can disrupt our steps, those seemingly insignificant moments can change the course of our lives. Let's explore a few examples. Have you ever had a moment where you chose to help someone out, even in a small way? Maybe you held the door for someone, or you offered to help a colleague with a project. Those little moments can have a ripple effect. You might not see the immediate impact, but that person could carry that kindness forward, creating a chain reaction of positivity. On the flip side, think about a time when you let a small annoyance ruin your day. Perhaps someone cut you off in traffic, or you received a critical comment at work. It's easy to let these grains of sand overshadow everything else, isn't it? Well, I encourage you to reflect on how you can let go of those small irritations and focus on the bigger picture. Now, what's really thought-provoking in here is the interconnectedness of our actions. Every tiny choice we make can influence our lives and the lives of others in a ways we might not even realize. Now, this reminds me of the idea that we're all part of a larger web of experience. For instance, think of a time when you offered a compliment to a stranger. It might have seemed like a small gesture, but it could really have brightened their day and encouraged them in ways you never know. Or on the flip side, a harsh word could dampen someone's spirit for a long time. So, how do we navigate this? Well, it's all about being mindful of our actions and their potential impact. Just like we wouldn't want that grain of sand to ruin our time in the library, we also don't want our words and actions to unintentionally create discomfort for others. Now, as we wrap up today's food for thought, I want to challenge you to reflect on the grains of sand in your own life. What tiny annoyances are you allowing to take up space in your mind? And how can you shift your perspective to focus on the vast library of experiences surrounding you? And remember, just as tiny actions can lead to significant consequences, your choices today can shape your tomorrow. Let's strive to be more conscious of how we let those small annoyances affect us and how we can make positive ripples in the lives of others. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this conversation thought provoking, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comment below. What's your grain of sand? And how do you plan to shake it out? Until next time, keep exploring the treasures within your library of life.